Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here, and get ready for Gnosis. Well, now's your time to move ahead and start achieving all the goals that you desire. And you can do this using my revolutionary new system, something that I've researched for 40 years. Now, old-fashioned training doesn't work. We live in a whole new reality, the chemical reality that we lived in the past, this Newtonian-type physics where these physical entities add up to a physical whole is no longer valid. It's all about energies, tapping into energies and empowerments and drawing them into your life, which are the essence of all physical, whether that's a rock or a tree or a lump of metal or it's success or healing, etc. It's all starts at this quantum physics level where it is an energy that then grows in an energy to form physical matter. It's as simple as that. Now, all of that, does that really matter to you? Well, probably not. What does it matter? Does the system work, and is it workable or usable in your life? And that's the whole key here. It really is. I have developed a system that is very easy to do. Anybody can do it. It only requires a few minutes each day. And it works at a very high, powerful level. And above all, it's a lot of fun. So what is the key to learning? Well, the problem why people don't learn is because they're bored. They're taught in arcane, idiot methods that have been going on in the educational fields for hundreds of years now. Sitting at a desk in front of a book and listening to somebody talk, even 20, 30, 50, 100 feet away, and you're supposed to be interested in what they're saying. This doesn't work, and it really never has. This gets down to the point of that this common stupid way of teaching. The only way to get better results, supposedly, means the number of students to the number of teachers. So less students, better learning, supposedly. But of course, a lot of that comes down to the fact of the students getting more attention. But you know, when I've been in classes, most people I found, it isn't the teacher that teaches you. It's usually a kid next to you, a fellow student, that explains things to you better because he knows how to teach. Teachers are basically worthless, teaching outdated information in a boring, uninteresting fashion. You really have to try to make something interesting and learn it in the typical school environment. Why? Why isn't it interesting to begin with? I remember the old shows from the 70s, the Welcome Back, Kotter. Does anybody remember that? Well, he was a cool teacher, and he used to wear hats and do talks about history and do fun things so the kids would be involved in it. Well, that didn't seem to work. You don't see teachers like that today, and quite frankly, while I've had some nice teachers, I've never, ever had a good teacher, and I'm not a fan of teaching. It doesn't work. Those people who get it anyway. They wouldn't even need a teacher. Give them a book and tell them to come back for a test in 2 weeks and they'll pass. It's not really mysterious. But we're beyond all this and created a society of a bunch of psychopaths, self-centered whores just seeking their self-empowerment of making money at all costs. That's what we produce by this kind of teaching system. Now we're going into a whole new era where people have to think in a much higher capacity. They have to understand things at high levels. If you want to manifest at high levels, you need to make sure that you involve your higher self and your inner magical being. Well, how do you do this? Well, first of all, you got to learn fun, period. And this is all based in using proper tools. Now, is a book fun? Well, you may like the information in there, but it's not really fun. There's not a store you go to and buy a bunch of books that you then take outside and throw around. It's information, and what value that has is how you can apply it, use it, and understand it. The bottom line is that you need something to work with, and that means you need tools. Now, the core to our system is the use of tools. And we have designed many of them, and many of them are coming. I have new tools, many on the drawing board. Why? They're fun. You have to make sure that you use diverse, interesting tools. If you don't use diverse, interesting tools, you'll never learn anything. You have to get through that massive block, which is a disabling block of working through written material and then trying to apply it. Now, written material at a base level is perfectly fine, and you need some of that. We certainly have enough books. But we found in our recent years of continued research that where people get results is when they start using tools. And it's very important to use special types of tools that trigger and connect you to the empowerment realities of this universe. First of all, you have massive higher self empowerment energy fields throughout your body that have been clogged, atrophied, they're not used, so they don't work well. Because your toxic mind keeps coming in and doing the same old idiot tasks, using the same old idiot ways of doing things, and producing little results. But the idiot mind doesn't think there's anything wrong with that. You need to go beyond that. By using specific psychic development tools, by pumping psychic muscle, you will achieve anything that you desire in life. This is the key. And this is not just my system, and it's just not revolutionary, because everything I do is based in procedures and facts and research done by others. I search out people around the world from every possible source, old information, new information, and find out, well, what did they did? What are they doing in their studies? And the bottom line is that all research institute, Princeton Engineering Lab, the very famous lab that is still active today in these psychic studies, SRI, and any serious organization, including UCLA's psychological research branch when it was active, all use tools, plain and simple. This is not something that is unknown. It's unknown to the public because nobody has sat down and decided to tell you or design or to offer you proper tools. It's just out of their capacity. They're just going to tell you what to do in a book, maybe tell you to make a few things to use as part of your process. They're missing the boat because they're not training you properly. Yet very few publishers are able to make products to the point where that they can offer something material with their printed physical realities. So you're stuck with a crappy system of doing things while those people who have studied, and by the way, most of these institutes, SRI, Princeton Engineering Lab, have all trained people. They are not just test labs. Why? Well, of course, it's nice to find empowered people. It's nice to find the Uri Gellers out there, the Pat Prices, the other ones that are out there now. But these are far and few between. And do they want to come and work with you? Well, generally, none of these research people pay you anything. They're not doing anything for you. Why would you possibly go there and assist them? If they do give you some sort of room and board for a period of time, well, that isn't really helping you, is it? And you're working for them for what particular reason? Is it ego? You want to prove what you're doing? Is it something you're confused about? Well, there's no value there. So what did they have to do? After they place their ads in the local newspapers and try and use as many students as possible, which do not come from backgrounds that are really cohesive to all this, they've had to take people who are interested in these areas and train them. That's right. They train them. They had to develop people's psychic abilities, and then they tested them. Well, what can you do with this new psychic ability that we trained you to? You got a nice high score from all the things that all the tools we've used to train you, and now you can do what with it? So this is the process that goes on. So you can see how, and this is done by all the experts in the field. Now, we can also go back and talk about the experts in the field when it comes to ancient mystery schools and all the other things that go with that. What did they do? Was this some sort of book learning stuff? Well, it really wasn't. Ancient mystery schools who taught and trained people to achieve all these abilities were doing all kinds of practical training, using of tools and other methods, not reading in books and then intellectualizing it through. Again, it goes back to learning how to become a chef. Well, it's certainly nice to read about it in a book and tell you what temperatures to put in the oven to cook something, but that doesn't train you with anything. Anybody who's ever did any cooking understands that, you have to go beyond the printed word, that maybe a higher temperature is better, maybe a lower temperature, maybe there are unique tricks. But it's a point thing, it comes down to physical manipulation, and this comes to do with everything. You got to get out there and do things. You're going to learn by physically doing and getting the physical experience from it. Now, that's just in traditional learning. In other learnings, you have to actually start making movements to open up pathways within your consciousness where all the empowerment comes from. You as a person are super empowered. That's right, you are super empowered. Well, why can't you do super things? Why can't everybody do super things? Well, everybody can run a marathon. Anybody can have giant muscles. Why don't they have it? Well, they're not doing those practices. As we go with physical things, whether you're a martial artist or other physical sports or any kind of physical activity, you have to start building neural pathways to function properly. You have to go through physical realities. You cannot do a matrix, plug into the brain, I know Kung Fu. It wouldn't work. Well, you may have the crude knowledge of Kung Fu, but you haven't built the energetic nerve centers to actually move quick enough. You don't have the muscle to continue to fight, etc. So all of this is part of the physical experience beyond the just I am programmed in my mind. There are physical realities. The body has to train itself on a physical level that, of course, is told what to do from a mental aspect. So you have to open up all these centers of empowerment. And a lot of people have heard of chakras and other things, but these are just some of the minor areas. And we hear about the basic chakras when there are, to a certain extent, if you want to consider all these energies that are within you, that they are many, many chakras, 20, 30, 50, who knows, as they extend away from your body if you want to consider these chakras. These are spinning energies that you are opening up to empower you past the common level of stupid mental activity. So do understand that there is a difference there. So by using tools, you are then able to create high levels of empowerment, open up all these energies within your body, which, as I've mentioned, there are many beyond this one classification called chakras. But this is where all your empowerments come from. Now, it's not going to come from your toxic mind. Your toxic mind is only there to do mundane, boring tasks. That's what it's for. Now, what we've done since we've given up these things for pursuits of stupidity in the physical world only, is that all of these energy centers is atrophied. There's no energy flowing through them. And as such, you don't really have much empowerment. Well, how do you change that? Tools, tools, and more tools. Fun, interesting tools that you use daily for short periods of time at high levels of enthusiasm. Often, that's the key, people. It's not complicated, and what's so great about it is that it's easy, and it's fun, and it works fantastic. We've been trained, or our whole learning system is based on doing boring, horrible things that nobody enjoys, and nobody wants to do anything. Because it's just book learning, and it's repetitious, and it's uninteresting, and it doesn't seem to apply to anything. You're not doing anything. You're living in a psychic box of bull. It's time to move past that. Use tools. How does everything work in life in that you have to apply your knowledge? If you can't apply that knowledge, then what value does it have? So this is where working at high levels of empowerment come in. And it starts with the use of tools, and we have many. Everybody needs to work on their visualization. If you are not visualizing at a high level, you will fail, plain and simple. You need to start building that psychic development energies, that psychic muscle. You need to pump psychic iron every single day. Is it hard? Is it difficult? No. You do it for short periods of time at high levels of enthusiasm often. And we're talking about a few minutes, 5 minutes. Everybody's got 5 minutes. Do it when you feel good, when you want to do it. The results are mind-boggling. Not only that, you'll see things happen right in front of you with psychic development tools. You'll see things right in front of you. You'll turn wheels. You'll be able to ascertain a number under a cup. You'll be able to know what something looks like at a distance. It goes on and on and on. You'll be able to clearly visualize objects and take it into your consciousness so they manifest in extremely short periods of time. All of this comes from using tools, not reading them in books. Books are worthless past a very base level. And all of this boils down to the fact of, are you in a consciousness state to do all this stuff, where your toxic mind isn't telling you garbage? And that's, of course, what centering is about. So you have your mind gym practices, building that psychic muscle, and of course you have your centering activities. Now you say, well, that's not achieving any goals there, Dr. Thor. Of course it is. You've got to have the foundation, then you can apply this to anything. Then you start using literally the hundreds, even thousands of techniques that we offer in our multiple books. Books are secondary. There's also, very past the tools, we have ways of connecting you to streams for that particular empowerment, to energy. Manifesting energy cells are cells that are empowered with a particular energy for you to tap into. We'll get into that in our other audios as well. So we offer all this. This is the cutting edge, next level, futuristic system that everyone should be practicing. It's simple, it's easy, and we give you lifetime tools to change your life. It is not complicated. The world is trying to tell you it's complicated. They want to keep you disempowered and weak, or they just want to take your money with old systems that really have never worked. They've worked by pushing their marketing onto people and getting you to go to their seminars, and a few people have risen to the top because there's such a great need to go to higher levels of empowerment. Whether that's for success and money, for relationships, or to survive because you are ill. It's all there to be grasped by you at an unbelievably easy manner and at very low cost. Lifetime tools that are a minor investment for years and years of practical work. Not things that are ever outdated, things that you will use daily and you will get results from them and you will see results from them. This isn't some sort of non-physical empowerment of reaching a certain level of philosophical understanding. And of course, that is advanced levels of manifesting, but you will see things manifest in your life. Do you have what you desire right now? So, plain and simple. And you will see them manifest for you. All of this exciting technology is available right now. It's easy to do, and you can start immediately.